on Santo's The Radio. And where's the music? There it is. Donna Summer with The Radio. I'm Casey Kasem, and here's your host, John Santo. Hello, everybody. This is John Santo, and welcome to this week's episode of The Radio. Our 31st episode, and happy July 4th to everybody. A little late. I want to welcome you to this week's episode. We have a great show for you today. A lot of stuff going on today on this July 6th, 2020. But first, I would like to please introduce, if I could, my special guest co-host. She actually, I'll give you a hint on who this is. She was my first special guest co-host, and it took weeks and months of negotiating. You know, her people, my people, but we finally got her back. Please welcome special guest co-host
Theresa Farrell.
Theresa Farrell, the big star from Tea Time with Theresa, which was just on before this show. So you're on television. Tell us about Tea Time.
I'm on Tea Time. Tea Time does not stand for golfing, and it does not stand for drinking. Tea, my friends call me Tea instead of Theresa. So it just stuck and just said, hey, let's call the show Tea Time. But Tea Time is a 55-minute show, and it's entertaining, funny, and interesting. And I have on a guest every week in the entertainment industry. And tonight I had on Butch Patrick, a.k.a. Eddie Munster from the Munsters.
Now I'm like blown away by your guests. You have some big guests. Can you tell us now? Tonight you had Butch, Patrick, Eddie Munster.
Yeah, I had.
And that was an amazing interview, by the way. I caught the end of it because I was preparing for the show and doing some work.
Yeah, he was great. He was great.
But I'll watch the rerun. But who else have you had the past couple? Well, tell us about tonight's show, and then tell us like the past few weeks who you've had on.
Well, tonight's show was all about Butch Patrick, who a lot of us know and grew up with as Eddie Munster on the Munsters. And the show was only on for 2 years, and he did 70 episodes. And but what a lot of people don't know, when he did the Munsters, he did it when he was 10 and 11, but he actually started acting when he was 7 years old by accident. He went on some kind of photo shoot with his sister, and the guy ended up taking his picture and putting it in the window. Some agent in LA just happens to see his picture and says, hey, I want that kid for something. So it was kind of like a fairy tale story. And he was also on General Hospital, and he did a movie with Eddie Albert and Jane Wyatt, and then that's when he went to the Munsters when he was 10 or 11 years old. And then after that, I mean, he was in everything from Mr. Ed to My Favorite Martian, Rawhide, to I Dream of Jeannie, Gunsmoke, The Monkees. He had a reoccurring role in My Three Sons. I mean, these were shows that you can watch as a family and you know, enjoy TV, and not worry about covering a kid's ears up. It was a great experience for him. He never really wanted to pursue acting. He actually left, and he got into drugs and alcohol, and he had some run-ins with the law, and he got clean and sober about 10 years ago. He wrote a book that is called Munster Memories. And, that's something that I think everyone should read. But he was humble, gracious, lovely. Lived on Long Island in Port Jeff for about 3 years back in 2008. So that was kind of cool to know.
That is pretty cool.
Said he loved Long Island, didn't like the winters. He's more of
winters are terrible.
LA person. But I've been very blessed. I had on Doc Gooden, as you know. From the Mets and Yankees. I've had on Bobby Collins. I had on Rhonda Handsome. I had on Regina DeCicco, who's the warm-up comic for The View, and one of the Italian chicks with me. Oh my God, just so many great people. You want to know? I mean, look, they're all great, but everyone's home right now, so now's the time to try to ask everybody. Right.
It's amazing some of the heavy hitters that you've gotten. And I also have been on. I've had Carlo Valerio on my show, his Animal House, and he had he had Rich Little, he had Donna Mills, he had Tim Tebow. I was on the Tim Tebow episode. My son got to talk to Tim Tebow via Zoom, and my son he's 13, a big Met fan, so that was that was cool. And yeah, it's
That's
very
very,
interesting.
very cool. It's very
Yeah,
cool.
everybody's home, so now. But I have a great guest this week. I have a co-host this week. Have you? So
Thank you.
I got the woman that books the big names.
I try
show.
to get the book names. I had Rob Bartlett. I had Julia Scotti. Rob Bartlett. I mean, these are a lot of people in the comedy industry.
Sure, these are big names.
And Joey Cola and Richie Byrne, and I've been doing the show almost 2 years, and I really, really love it. So
I got to get them on. I got to see if they'll come on here too. I got to try to get some other. But I've had a lot of great people on the show. I've had a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't just have comics on the show as co-hosts. I've had civilians, normal people. That'd
be questionable if they're normal. I don't know.
Questionable. Last week we had on Tommy Gooch, and we did some movie trivia. We're going to do some movie trivia tonight. I did that with Carl. I did that with Paul Vanier. So the past month or so, Danielle I had on. She's great with the Dallas. So we're going to do some movie TV trivia. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, can I get my husband so I can cheat?
Yeah, okay. Now
movie trivia, hon.
Here's what's funny. Tommy Gooch, I asked him, I said, so we started off the segment last week where he goes, my wife goes, oh, you didn't see that? And then she'll keep saying the title of the movie. It's like, no, the more, I'm not going to have seen it. So I asked him about Die Hard. He never saw Die Hard. Who hasn't seen Die Hard? So I said to him, just like his wife, I go, Tommy, you never saw Die Hard? Never saw Die Hard? Never saw Die Hard? And then he caught on to what I was doing, It was fun. But we did like The Sopranos. He's a big, because all Tommy and I do, like when we're in the car going to a show, is talk about lines from The Sopranos episode. Right. So and then I'll text him a YouTube link to a Paulie Walnuts quote or something. Yeah. That's all we do. We do that all day long.
That's great.
That's what comedians do. You know what I found interesting though about you. I just want to. We'll finish off this segment about your interview with Butch. I found it interesting the question you asked him towards the end. That was a great question.
Thank you.
Did you hang out with other child actors? That was a great question because then he was like, no, we drove from his town. He said it was about 25 miles away. I think he said.
He did his job and he went home.
Went home.
Yeah.
It's almost like a commuter at college, a person that drives rather than dorms.
Right.
Like I drove to college when my flying lesson was over, my classes was up. I drove home. I mean, I hung out a little bit. Sometimes I go out to dinner, but I also worked a night job. I had a job at a bank, in collections. I used to do. It's funny. I'm Italian. I do collections.
Wow.
And I did student loan collections for.
Yeah, that's not stereotypical.
6 years. Well, I had the highest rate of collections.
Well, because they don't care to hear your last name. You hear Santo, hey, I better pay this guy.
I would tell them, listen, I want you to make the payments. And then I would put the Godfather theme on hold. And I had the highest percentage of collected debt of anybody. No, I'm kidding.
John Santo, I'm coming to get it. Or you send
coming to get you. You know what was funny, though, about that job? Is that all these loans were guaranteed by the government. So all we had to do was make 2 phone calls and send 2 letters a month. And after 180 days, the government took over the loan, and then they would go after them with the IRS and whatever. But here's what's funny. I had a guy who was a real wise ass. And he had missed a payment of $50-something, right? So I said, you're only 30 days late. I go, some people forget. He goes, no, I'm not paying it. I'm like, well, if you can't pay it, we have different deferments, interest-free deferment options, by the federal government at the time. He said, no, I only owe, because then I looked at his balance. He only owed $153 left. And then the loan was closed.
Okay.
So he said, I'm not paying it because it's going to cost you more to collect it than it will to write it off. That's what he told me. So I said, yeah, but we're collecting on it anyway because, like I just told you, after 180 days, we don't have any, the government pays us. Right. I said, and I said, yeah, that's true. It'll cost more. But if I don't nip this in the bud, I could turn a $150 problem. If everybody did what you did, I'd have a multi-million-dollar problem. So I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna end it right here with you.
Right.
And we're gonna go after you specifically.
Yeah.
He paid the whole thing. The next week, I got a check. The whole balance paid off. Yeah, the whole balance paid off.
Listen to me. I had this conversation the other day with my cousin, who Farrell's my married name. My maiden name is Canastracy, so my last name ends in a vowel too. But the point is that we were talking about how these credit card companies, because my dad was very old school, and if you didn't have cash, you don't buy it because plastic.
You don't buy it, right? And
if you charge it, you make sure you pay your entire balance
in full.
But you're looking at these credit card companies and what they're charging in interest. They're legal loan sharks. That's what they are.
You're better off at the mafia.
It's true. I'm better off getting off the street, man. It's crazy.
So Theresa, we'll give you the Sopranos credit card.
Yeah.
It's only 5% interest.
35. Huh.
I'm waiting for the mafia to come out with their own credit card.
They should, right? They should.
If you get into trouble, show them our card. It's platinum. Nobody will bother you. It's the forget about it card.
It's the forget about it card. Yeah, forget about it.
Actually, wait a second. I think I just stole that. I just stole that from a bit that I did. I did the voiceover for it. Yeah, right. We did it. Oh my God! We did the voice. I just stole my own joke back.
Not forget about it credit card, but that's good.
Yeah, but it was the forget about it hotline, wasn't it? What was the
app? It was the app.
The app. I stole the bit that I did for a voiceover back. I just stole it back.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Oh my God. And I'm the vice chairman of the Comedy Ethics Committee.
We'll change the name of it to
that was accidental. I apologize to the producers. And you're a co-star on that same video.
It was a great video. A lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And we'll call it the wood shampoo card. The wood shampoo.
So you know what we could do? I'll have to reach out to John. Maybe we could do a forget about a credit card.
We can.
No preset spending limit. Maybe it's a sister product to the app.
Yes. Yeah. That's it.
Or a complimentary product, right? The app.
That's funny. That's good.
That's
I like
funny.
it a lot.
I don't believe I just did that. I just stole my own voiceover that I did for somebody else back. I knew it sounded familiar.
You did a great job.
Thank you. So we have some interesting news. I'm going to get Tom Brokaw to come in.
Please tell me what's going on.
Tom is here. Tom Brokaw. Tom is, as you know, Theresa, we have an affiliation with NBC News.
Yes.
With Tom Brokaw. Tom, welcome back to the radio. Good evening, John and Theresa. Tom Brokaw.
Good evening, Tom.
Hello, Theresa. It's great to be back with you. I remember you from episode 2.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time.
It's episode 31.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace that John hasn't
had
you
John
back
should have had me back sooner. I don't know why he didn't, but that's okay. I forgive him.
Well, we'll deal with him later. In the meantime, on July 2nd, have you seen Theresa? Did you see this? On July 2nd, a large bird of prey, people thought it was an eagle, picked up a shark and flew it over the beach. Did you see that video?
No, I missed it.
It's on NBC News. Well, it was later theorized that the bird of prey was an osprey and the shark was actually a 3-foot shark-like dogfish.
Oh.
But when you see this thing, Theresa, it's carrying what appears to people on the ground as a shark.
Wow. Tom, that's incredible.
That is absolutely incredible. People were stunned.
I'm sure they were.
Well, thank you very much for that report, Tom. It was great having you back on the radio. You're welcome, John. And Theresa, hopefully we'll see you before episode 67.
Thanks, Tom.
Isn't Tom awesome? Tom Brokaw's up. But can you believe that? You got to look at that video. This thing is flying around the beach. I'm talking over the people, right?
Wow.
It looks like a shark. It looks like an eagle. It looks like a shark.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, when you look at it again, yes, I guess it's an osprey, and yes, I guess it's a dogfish. But if you're sitting there and you're on the beach and the freaking thing flies over, and the thing does look like a shark, even though I've watched the video a bunch of times
Yeah.
It's got like 17 million views, right?
Wow.
It looks like a shark. Now imagine you're on. Now this is, they zoomed in on it. Imagine you're naked eye, you're on the beach, fat, thumb, and happy, and all of a sudden, you're not going to say, "Oh, I bet you that's a dogfish."
Right.
That looks like a no. You're going to say, "Holy shit!" Because it's also hard to determine exactly if it's a small thing very high,
Right.
a big thing very high, or a small thing a
Right.
little low. The perspective.
The perception's all thrown off.
That's the hoof. The hoof. That's right. The perception. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So it had this thing in its talons,
wow,
but it looked like a freaking shark. Amazing.
That's crazy. It's insane.
What are you gonna do? They both had on masks. The shark and the eagle, or whatever it was, the bird. I don't know birds. I can identify airplanes. I can tell you if it's like a 737 200, but I can't tell you a bird.
You are the aviator whisperer, my friend.
I am. And you know what I wish? I wish people would just ask me questions. Use me as a reference. Don't say that something is something else. I was at the airport and I saw this beautiful Airbus pull in, right? Uh-huh. And I said, "Wow, that Airbus." He goes, "There's no Airbus." The guy at the terminal, "There's no Airbus. That's a 737." And I said, "Well, first of all, it says Airbus right on the bottom, and it said 320 on the nose. That's A320. So it's A320." I go, so I said, "Look, if that's a 737, I'm Donald Trump." Okay, I'm like, this is like before he was president. This is like 2016, but I'm like, it says Airbus. Like on the plane. Right. Like I didn't even have to, it wasn't even a challenge for me.
He didn't have his glasses on, John. You did.
I don't know. The 737 is a very distinctive nose, though. It's a lot different. But, I just, I like when people ask me. I'm happy to help them with any
It's like the Jimmy Durante of planes. Is that what you're saying?
I like the plane whisperer better.
No, I'm saying the plane was like the Jimmy Durante of planes. The way it looked with the nose.
Oh, the nose. Oh, yeah. I didn't get the Jimmy Durante reference with the nose. Yes.
That's okay.
Yes, it had like a different nose. But sometimes even it's hard, even on the ground, it's hard for me to figure out if it's too high. I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah. So how do you feel about flying these days? How do you feel about that?
I'm not getting on an airplane. What you mean with the coronavirus?
Well, I heard they're filling up the middle seats now. So
Well, you know what? They may as well, because you know what? Not having the middle seat is not going to make a shitload of difference. You're only 2 inches away from the guy in front of you. Right. If you did every other row and every other seat, you're still too close because you got the guy in the aisle.
One person in a row, every other row.
Every other row, but then you can't make money that way, so you may as well not fly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I don't think anybody should be traveling anywhere. I think way back in January, everything should and it should have been done that day immediately, not 3 days later to take effect. That day, nobody travels. Everything grounded. Yeah. Nothing moves. Nothing comes into the United States from anywhere. That's what Australia and New Zealand did, and they had very, very few cases of the virus. Nobody was coming in. They repatriated some of their citizens, okay, but that's it. Nobody I don't even want people traveling between the states here, much less people coming in from other places where the virus is happening. If that would have been done in January, 90% of the virus would have been contained.
And did you hear that bicycle sales are through the roof? And myself, I'm trying to get a pool, but pool sales are up 550%, and there's not a pool to be found.
Can't get a pool. I tried to get patio furniture because we redid our patio. That was one of the things that we did. So we needed new furniture anyway. All of our furniture was shot. It was all old stuff.
Yeah.
Sold out because everybody that was home, they all went out and bought stuff for the house. Yeah. It's very hard to get household items.
Yeah.
Like outdoor stuff. Like forget Clorox wipes. I was on Target.com a couple of weeks ago, and if you would have told me in January that my heart would have skipped a beat when I saw the thing pop up on the website, I would have laughed in your face.
Lysol turns me on now.
It turns me. I'm like, oh, they have it. It's like I found like a 1969 Mets World Series ball autographed by the entire team.
I know.
It's like exciting, but it's
But when I go shopping now,
you can't find it.
we go shopping every Saturday at Stop and Shop. We go when they open at 6 a.m. We're in and out like ninjas. Like ninjas. We get in, we get out. Because I don't want to be inside with too many people. I don't mind being outside, social distancing, they say be outside more than inside. But when I go anywhere shopping, seriously, I try to get there when they open and I'm in and out, in and out.
Well, the thing is, somebody posted this on Bookface, and it's actually a very smart idea. When you go into the supermarket, instead of now they have a plastic bag, so it's a little different. But let's say you had your bag, like the bags like I bought the Stop and Shop. What do you call them? The reusable bags.
Yeah, the insulated reusable bags. Yeah.
The reusable ones, right? So now this guy came up with a brilliant idea. You go into the store, you buy all your stuff, you check out. Don't bag anything. Put it back in the cart.
Okay.
Put it then when you get back to your car, Lysol it there, then put it in your bag. Bring it into the house.
All right, that's a good idea because what I've been doing. That's a good idea because what I've been doing is I bring my own insulated bags, and then what I do is that when I bring everything home, I wipe everything down. Anything in boxes like cereal comes out of the box, and I disregard the cardboard. But I usually just wipe.
Oh wow!
But spraying it's not a bad idea. Yeah, because think about it. You don't need the
box. Spray.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need it. I mean, I
try to find a can of Lysol. That's the problem.
Can't find it. I even called the celebrity hotline, the place that deals with the celebrities that gets us everything that we need, and they didn't have it. Yeah, you probably have an account with them.
Morgan Freeman. You're telling me Morgan Freeman couldn't get anything from these people? What did he say to them? What did Morgan Freeman say to them and that he couldn't get anything from them? Really?
What do you mean Morgan Freeman? What happened with Morgan Freeman?
Didn't Morgan Freeman call them? Didn't you just say that celebrities are having a hard time? Didn't Morgan call them?
No, I called. I called the celebrity hotline.
Oh, you called?
Yeah, I won an Emmy. They gave me the account number after I got the Emmy. So you call in, like now, I went in, like you pick your things that you don't want to do. So I opted out of jury duty. I opted out of all that stuff that celebrities don't have to do. So now when I go to the airport, they take me right to the plane with the little buggy.
Okay.
Because when you win the Emmy, you qualify for that level. So before that, I just got the hi, Mr. Santo at the airport. Now they drive me like Al Roker. I was in the same car as Al Roker. So
okay.
I'll give you the number. You should call. You should be in there. Anyway. But Morgan Freeman is on the phone. Tell Theresa.
I knew he was going to call in to talk to me because he's one of my faves.
Hi, Theresa. It's Morgan Freeman. How are you?
Hello, Morgan. How are you? I was just watching Shawshank the other night.
That movie is funny. First, you hate it. Then you get used to it. Then you love it. I'm kidding. I was just playing up on a line from the movie.
How are you doing during this pandemic?
I'm doing quite well. I was watching all my movies. But, John made a funny joke about that celebrity hotline. There's so many people out there that think that we have access to certain things that other people don't. This is not true. John was just being funny.
Well, it's like, celebrity privilege, I guess,
I was on jury duty last week. There was a man who was a Hollywood star that was accused of murdering his wife, and I acquitted him. Because I saw that movie.
Oh.
His name was Andy Dufresne. See, John set that up perfectly. He set up the jury duty thing with the celebrities, and then he teed me up. This show is so well written.
Isn't it?
It's so well written.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that you're well and you're doing okay.
I'm doing great. I was in Batman. 3 movies.
Yes.
Mr. Fox.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Wayne, the way I see it, all this stuff belongs to you anyway. Do you know what my favorite line from that movie was? When the accountant tried to blackmail me for $10 million. And I said, your client is one of the richest men in the world, and you think that he spends his evenings dressed up as a bat beating criminals to a pulp, and your plan is to blackmail this person? Good luck. Anyway, I gotta go.
This was a lovely surprise.
Oh, it was great to be with you, but I have to go now.
Okay, Morgan. You take care. Stay safe.
Thanks, Morgan, for calling in. Wasn't that awesome? He just calls in, Morgan Freeman.
I love him. I can't.
Isn't he
I
fantastic?
watch his movies over and over and over again. Really.
Well, do you know what today is? Today's July 6th. You know, we have 2 celebrity birthdays today.
2 what birthdays?
Celebrity birthdays. Speaking of celebrities.
Whose birthday is today?
This is a very ironic. Today is George W. Bush's birthday.
Really?
He's 74.
Uh-huh.
And Sylvester Stallone's birthday is today, and he's 74.
Oh, wow.
And
they look totally different. And they look totally different for 74.
Totally different. And both are on the phone with us here.
Oh, my God. Who are we going to talk to first, John?
Happy birthday, Sylvester. It's George W. Bush. Hi, Theresa.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Theresa? Hey, how you doing?
Happy birthday, 74. God bless you both.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
I'm glad you're here.
So, Sylvester, it's happy birthday. Happy birthday to you too, George. You know, Theresa, we was thinking, since we're both the same age, Sylvester and I, what if we had each other's job? Like, what if he had become president of the United States and I'd become a boxer?
Wow.
You know? Like, I could have said, yo, Adrian, that guy is a big fighter, Mr. T. He's tough. Yeah. And I could have said, my fellow Americans, we do not negotiate with terrorists. We don't do it. It's not something we're going to do.
You know what? I think it might have worked out that way too. I mean, I think you're both so talented, and I think it could have worked either way.
And I could have been in the Rambo movies. I could have been like Murdoch. I'm coming for you, Murdoch.
Yeah, Mr.
Nothing
Bush
is over.
Mr. Bush, you'd be hiding in the bush. Yeah,
I'd be in the bush. That's right. I'd be in Vietnam.
You'd be hiding in the bush.
Rescuing POWs, like in Rambo 2. Rambo 2 is the best one of the Rambos.
Is that your
thank
favorite,
you.
Mr. Bush? That's your favorite?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Rambo 2, because he fights the Russians in Vietnam. He finds the POWs.
Right.
And he wipes out like 9,000 Russians by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And, I also did diplomacy with the Russians in Rocky IV. So I did a lot with the Russians. I fought them, literally fought them in the military, and then I fought them in the ring. But then I turned them around. I ended the Cold War. I don't know, Theresa, if you know this, but like 2 years after Rocky IV came out, no, 3 years. 3 years after Rocky IV, the wall came down in Berlin. Done. It was done. Because of what I said in Rocky IV. If I can change, you can change.
Well, I don't want either one of you to change. I want you to both be who you are and enjoy your 74th birthdays and many, many more.
Thanks so much, Theresa. It's great to be here on the radio with John Santo, who's a mediocre impressionist. I'm glad he had a real co-host. You've been doing this a lot. You're doing this a lot longer than him, and it shows. All right, Theresa. Yeah, thank you for having me on the show. It
was so my pleasure. Seriously, I'm just so I'm tongue-tied that it's even you that I'm even talking.
Oh, please! I'm the Italian stallion, but you're one of the Italian chicks.
Listen, I just want you to know, Sly. I want you to know that when I was in Philadelphia, I want you to know. 4 years ago, was it 4 years ago? God almighty, 4 years ago. I ran up those steps. Sly. You'd be proud of me. I reached the top, and I was jumping around. And you know what happened, Sly? I tripped over my foot, and I fell.
Oh, it's terrible. But you know what I always wondered about that, even though I run those steps a lot?
Yeah, God bless.
I always wondered, why did they have to have so many steps to go mail a letter? Like, why? Like, why can't it be like 2 steps? Why are we going to climb a mountain to go mail a letter? Or, ship a package or buy stamps or whatever. It should be a little more convenient. Look how far the steps are off the street. It's like a half a mile. Why are you going to do that for? I can't do that no more. I'm 74. I can't go up those steps like that. I gotta do stamps.com. I can't even go to the post office no more.
Well, you know what? I'm just thrilled to talk to you both tonight, really.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. And many, many, many more birthdays.
Thank you. All right, I gotta go now. I gotta go back on stamps.com.
Santa will have me back when it's my birthday in September.
Thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Stallone. When is your birthday?
My birthday is September 6th. That was the day that Broadway was supposed to open, and now it's not.
Wait, it's September 6th and it's July 6th. It's exactly 60 days from today.
Yeah. And so I have to listen to me. I'm putting this out there. I want to lose 20 pounds in 60 days.
All right. Here's what we're going to do.
I don't think I put on the COVID-19. I put on the COVID-20. So I got to get this 20 off in 60 days, John. No joke.
Right, so
my ass.
Hold on.
Ass, John.
Hold on. Let me check the calendar. Here. Hold on. I got to goggle the calendar.
You have to do it on the 7th because the 6th is a Sunday, I think.
See, you're way ahead of me.
Right? I think I'm right.
Right, so here's what we're going to do. September.
My ass has its own zip code now. I got 2 asses.
Hey, let me tell you, I'm so fat. My doctor told me if I don't lose weight, I'm going to get my own zip code. I'm telling you. When I jog, I leave potholes.
Oh, I jog. I give myself 2 black eyes. That's why I have to walk.
When I see a menu, I just say okay. All right. So you're right. I want to make sure because, we're on the air. We're talking this, the audience and everything. They want to know these things.
The audience wants to know. They want to know.
September 7th, we're going to have you back on the show.
Oh,
okay.
Thanks. Sure. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be 20 pounds later.
So I forgot to book July. So thank you for coming on last minute. Because I show up on my office and I'm like, holy shit, I don't have anybody booked. Booked.
It's July, John. It's
July. I thought I had another week, anyway, but
I got to get. Yeah, you got to book. You got to book far out. Book it.
I got to book far out. I got to book. Well, I'm going to book. Oh, I love the Y50. Oh, Steve McGarrett, Jack Lord with the hair. When he he turned around, I love the original 50. Chin Ho Kelly, Dano Williams, and the original 4th guy was Kono, and then it was Che ran the lab. What was the 4th guy? Oh, Duke. Duke was the 4th guy.
How do you all this? You've got such a memory. You really
I love the original 50. That was the best. I love with the
question.
What?
Is there any remake that you like? Because there aren't. I don't think there's any remakes that I like that I could say I like.
The first of all, let me just say the Magnum remake. Forget about it. Horrible. I don't even know if it's still on. It was a total disaster. The Magnum total disaster. I didn't like the Magnum remake at all, and it was just the shows today are lame. They're very lame.
None of them are original. Okay,
no.
And then when you just start to like one, like This Is Us, it's the last season. So it's kind of.
I don't watch that drama crap.
Well, you find something you like, and then all of a sudden, This Is Us is better than the 90-Day Fiance thing. Okay.
Right. Now, one show that was original was Manifest, right? But again, just like that other one with the plane crash on the island, the Lost or whatever, too long. These are miniseries, or they're miniseries, or they are movies. Like this thing with the Manifest, it's been on for 3 seasons. Okay, the shock of that they went forward in time 4 years is over. Okay, now you're dragging that out over 3 seasons. I mean, come on, it sucks. But to answer your question, I love the original Hawaii 5. I used to watch it as a little kid on rerun, but I liked the one remake I did love, Battlestar Galactica on Sci-Fi Channel. Edward James Olmos, amazing.
I'll agree.
That was because that had an amazing soundtrack, that had amazing effects, an amazing storyline. It had Trish Helfer. Hello. It had an amazing story, and I love the way they did it with the music. Everything was perfect on that, and they're gonna remake it again. I hope they don't muck it up because that was a great remake. And I still on my iPhone pretend I'm Commander Adama from the '70s show, where when I talk and it types when I'm talking. That to me is awesome, you know. But
any shows that you've been watching? Is there any show that you've been watching like a really, really long time? Like I'm a Law and Order fan.
You like Law and Order?
Yeah. Why?
Oh no, because do you remember back in
why do you say it?
No, because I have a bit. Teresa's paused. I think we lost Teresa. Wait, no, I hear Theresa. Here. Oh, yeah. Okay, you're frozen. Your audio, your visual's frozen, but we got you back. So, do you remember Adam Schiff, the original DA? The old man, the original. Yes. All right. You ready for here's the impression. You ready?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Subpoena half of Fifth Avenue? Cut a deal. Settle the case. Get it off the front page. Make a deal. He was always making deals, settle the case.
Yeah, I really do. I enjoy Law and Order. I do.
But the one thing I noticed on Law and Order, I used to do a bit about this a long time ago. The people that when they're talking to the police, they never stop moving. Whatever they're doing, they're doing. If a guy is, I did a bit in my act where the guy's flying a plane. And he's like, sure, Lieutenant, I remember Jimmy. He told me he was taking a couple of weeks vacation. He has a sister down on the Jersey Shore. So then I did all these different people that wouldn't stop working while they were talking to the cops. So I did like a porn star, It was fun. It's a better bit on stage. I think we lost Theresa again.
No. Keep going. I hear you.
You do hear me. Okay. Hear you.
Keep going. You're good.
I love Zoom. It shouldn't be called Zoom. It should be called anything but Zoom. It should be called slow. It should be called slow.
It should be called hesitating.
I saw this sign that said free Wi-Fi. And I'm like, what did Wi-Fi do to get itself in prison? And why does everybody want them free?
I get free Wi-Fi, because I have the 2 titanium plates in my head, so I get free Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's right. You have a Wi-Fi signal booster.
I do. It's so cool.
That's just amazing. Did you hear that the naked cowboy got chased out of Times Square by protesters?
No, did he?
I'm like, that's his place, Times Square.
Yeah,
what are these people?
Yeah, that's. That's can't take away his corner.
No, that's his corner. That's right. He's there first.
That's his corner. Why did they chase him away? Did they say?
I didn't read the whole story. I only got a snippet of it.
Right. Okay.
I was in Times Square. I guess it's about 7 years ago, and I see a predator monster from Predator, and he's in Times Square, and the guy was not a nice person, but I said, screw him, I'm videoing him anyway. And I said, now, of course, I do Schwarzenegger. So what am I going to do when I see a predator? And I go, first I said, you're one ugly mother. And then I said, why wasn't I in Predator 2, you son of a bitch? And then he walked away.
That's great.
True story. I've shared that video on my book face.
I love it.
Yeah, that was a true story. Now, I would really I'll throw the guy $20. I'd love to, after COVID's over. Well, actually, you can't go into the city now because of the crime. It's safer to be in the jungle with the real predator monster.
It's terrible what's going on. I mean, how many people? What happened in the last day? It's
horrific. It's really horrific. And I'll tell you something. I won't go into the city. I have no desire to go in there because it's a total disaster.
It's like it's turned into the Wild Wild West.
Well, that's the thing. I think you're going to have to bring back you're going to have to walk around with a piece. You know,
Yeah.
the holsters with the two pieces on the
I mean, I
front.
know when I worked in the city many years ago, I had mace. I had mace on me, and I had and needlepoint, the needlepoint.
Yeah, sure.
I carry one of those, like I'm gonna needlepoint, but I don't. It's like you need something. I think you need.
But
something.
why can't you have a firearm if you want a firearm to protect yourself? You know, like why can't you have like a pistol, like a Werther PPK or something like that?
It's not like Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where you can like walk around like you're a freaking cowboy.
I think we should. I think you need to have, as long as you show it, I think you should have a gun on each hip and walk around with the piece, because the cops aren't there. The cops aren't doing anything.
That's the whole like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Is it sauce? Is it gravy? Do guns kill or do people kill? I mean, this is you could go on and on and on with this.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? I'd rather be armed at this point, because the city is just gone to shit. But in terms of the gravy and the sauce, sauce goes on Italian food, and gravy goes on like a turkey or like a that. So sauce is tomato sauce, no tomato gravy. If you look at on all of the labels, it says can be used to make sauce, or is already tomato sauce.
Two of my cousins had this debate on Bookface, and now they didn't speak. And I'm like, really? Like over this? Come on, people. I mean, like, really? I can't.
No, it's no debate. Gravy goes on turkey.
I agree. Brown gravy goes on turkey.
Brown gravy.
That's brown
gravy.
Turkey?
And if you look at the label, it says gravy, or it says sauce.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But the reason I was mentioning the piece in the city, wouldn't it be nice if you could like just turn around like James Bond, with the thing, and have the music for the new theme song going like that? That's how all the Bond movies used to start.
My mother's favorite movie was with Charles Bronson.
Death Wish.
Death Wish. That was her favorite. She said to me, I never saw my mother like this before. She's like this little 5'2" Italian nothing. But she was like, oh my God, when he was in the subway, I couldn't wait for it to pull with the trigger. I mean, you just put them all on. Like that movie, Escape from New York, right? Where they put all the.
Oh, that's you went right into my new bit. That's what we should do. We should put a wall around the city and Snake Plissken.
That's what they did, though. They escaped from New York. My mother loved that movie, too, because she's like, that's great. They put them on an island. They just put them on an island. That's where they go. And you don't worry about it. Look, and you're walking around. There's no crime. There's no nothing.
That was great. But you know what was unrealistic? Was the escape pod that they had for the president. They wouldn't fly Air Force One over to New York prison. There wouldn't be a reason to fly Air Force One over New York.
Right.
It's a prison. I should do Mike Francesa. You know Mike Francesa, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
First of all, you would never fly over a prison city like New York. You would land far away, and you would never put the president at risk. You'd never put the president at risk. Even though the president was Donald Pleasance, who wasn't even that great of an actor. But you would never put the president at risk. Now, in the movie Air Force One, Harrison Ford, they didn't have a choice. Did you see Air Force One, Harrison Ford?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
1997, that movie came out. That was an amazing movie.
Yeah, that was the year he was born. Yes, it was a very good movie.
Awesome picture. Awesome picture. William H. Macy. You had Harrison Ford.
Yes.
And then you had a lot of people that nobody knew. I'm sorry. I apologize. Glenn Close, who was awesome as the vice president.
Yeah,
and then Harry Dean Stanton, I think it was the Secretary of Defense. A great cast.
Yeah.
But unrealistic, because I would think that in order to deploy the weapons on Air Force One, you'd need two passwords. I don't think one agent would have the ability to get to the weapons. I think you'd have to have dual, like a two-man rule.
Right, like they have the key, like a two-key.
Like a launch key in a nuclear
A
arsenal.
two-man launch key? Yeah.
Correct. Two-person, two-man, whatever you want to say, launch key.
Whatever you want, yeah.
They have to concur that the orders are authentic. and that the message is valid, and that they're
What,
going to.
what would Robin Leach say about this?
Robin, are you there? Robin, how are you? Hello, Michael, Francesa, Theresa, and John Santo. This is your host, Robin Leach. Welcome to another star-studded edition of Live Styles of the Rich and Famous.
Hello, Rob.
Hold on a second. If we're going to do live styles, we've got to do it right. So just give me 1 second to cue up some music.
Okay, Robin, you do that.
Go ahead and ask me a question, Theresa, while I'm queuing up the music.
Oh, Robin, I just want to know what you're doing to stay busy during these crazy times we're in.
Hold on 1 second. I'm almost done queuing up the music.
Okay.
It's so much better when I have the music of the rich and famous. Yeah. I love YouTube. They have absolutely everything.
They do. They do. Why don't you come back with that show, Robin? It was such a great show.
It was a fantastic show, and I think we're going to come back with it very soon.
And who would you?
Here it is.
There you go.
Welcome to another star-studded edition of Live Styles of the Rich and Famous. I'm on the show with Theresa Farrell. She has Tea Time with Theresa, one of the most successful television shows in all the world. She's also in the Italian Chicks. She makes over $600 million a year. We'll show you her new yacht, her Mercedes-Benz collection, and her brand new Gulfstream 550 business jet. Jet setting around the world in total luxury is no small endeavor for Theresa Farrell. I did that off the cuff. I had no idea you were bringing Robin Leach on. Everything else was a setup.
That was great, Robin. That was great. Oh my God, my cheeks hurt.
$600 million a year.
Annie, from your mouth to God's ears.
She uses Dom Perignon for toilet water. That's how much money she can afford to piss away. I loved Robin Lee. I gotta find a way to get him back in my act.
Oh my God, he was great. I love that. He was awesome. Show. I love that show. It was great.
Crazy.
Oh, huh? What did you say?
But when you see that show, I think they had to take it off the air because everybody wanted higher taxes for the wealthy after that. I'm like, this asshole.
Look how they're living. Really?
Yeah, he spends more on yacht fuel than I make in 10 years. Taxes ass.
Oh my God, my cheeks.
I'm writing that down. I got to figure out a way to get Robin Leach back into the act.
Oh, Madonna me. Oh wow. Oh, that was
amazing.
Yeah, I got all teary and my cheeks hurt. That's good.
What made you bring up Robin Leach?
I don't know. He just popped into because you sent me.
I sent you the list. I know I sent you the list, but that was you're like, what would Robin Leach say?
No, listen, I have my faves. Like Casey Kasem is one of my faves.
Right. Who else is a fave from? So you really were talking about like the older '80s dead people impression.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who else you like on the list? I'm actually trying to figure out a way. A few people have given me, some very smart people that we know, friends of ours, have given me advice that I should bring back some of the older impressions, even though they're older, because people still like them.
Yeah, like Rodney. I like when you do Rodney. You could do Rodney.
Yeah, I do Rodney a little bit in my act now.
Yeah.
But not much, not a lot. Maybe I should do him a little more.
The announcer guy is funny. I mean, everyone you do is good. Michael Caine, come on. They're all great. I mean,
I love doing Michael Caine, but the movie guy.
Yeah, the movie guy's great.
Did you see when I was running?
He's out of a job. The movie guy. There's nothing to announce.
No, there's nothing to announce. That's true. Did you see when I did like a video, like with the movie preview guy, and it was like when I was running for Long Island's Best Impressionist, I was like, I did it like a political ad, and I had like happy music when it was me and sad music when it was them, and I was like, some impressionists charge hundreds of dollars to see their shows. John Santo has held the line on ticket prices. It's like, vote for John Santo.
You should run for office. I like how John Santo sounds. You should.
I would. You know what? It's funny because I do a lot of. I'm very smart about the government, and if I say so myself, I know a lot about government institutions and things, and I do impressions of political people. I despise politics. I hate the pettiness of politics.
Well, you know, John,
I hate it.
There's two things I don't discuss, and that's religion, and I don't say
Right.
politics. I say politics. Right. I call it politics.
Politics.
Yeah. I coined that phrase. Politics. I don't discuss politics. I don't. I can't.
I hate the pettiness of it. But I'm saying even like the what I watch on TV and stuff, I hate it. Yeah. It's so petty. When I become president, hopefully somebody will pick me as a running mate. They'll resign or drop dead, and I'll get to the big shit. But I will eliminate Congress because I don't want to deal with anybody. I want it to be me and the American people. And I'll ask them, whatever polls at 70%, we will do.
Right.
You want this? And I'm going to tailor government to what people post on Facebook. So if people post that the rich should pay more taxes, I'm going to tax them too. I'm going to tax everybody and behavior. So if they say, we need to clean up the environment, I'm taking away your car. And I'm going to give you a fuel-efficient car.
You saw what happened 3 months ago when we were all inside. You saw that when they did the map and how the pollution was like gone.
Yes.
They did like a before and after, and I was like, holy cannoli.
It gave the planet a breather.
They did. They really did.
I'm going to have an electric car. If I get elected president, I'll have an electric car, totally 90% less carbon emissions well, I'm going to be president for life. So in 10 years,
right.
I'm going to do away with the term limit. In 10 years, I'm going to be like a democratic dictatorship.
Okay.
But not like a Mussolini. I'm going to be like whatever the people want. I'm going to get it done. So like if you're a citizen, you tell me, Mr. President, we want fuel efficient cars within 10 years, 90% carbon free. We're going to do that.
You know what? I don't want tax. I don't want sanitary napkins or tampons taxed because it's a necessity for women.
Oh,
and it shouldn't be taxed.
Done. Executive Order 1, done.
Great. There's your first on your list.
See, when I do it that way, there's no Congress, there's no debate, there's no 3-year delay. It's done immediately. I will direct, I don't know what department that would fall under.
HBA. It falls into HBA, Health and Beauty.
No, what in the federal government? I don't know what department that would be. Agriculture? Health and Human Services?
Environmental. I think environmental.
Could be.
You know?
I tell you what.
I don't think they disintegrate that well. You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter that I don't know right now. We'll figure out where it goes. And then you can head that up. You can be the director.
You know where it goes, silly.
Or the administrator. No, I mean, I know where that goes. I mean the department. I don't know what secretary it's under, but we'll make you the administrator. We'll make you the administrator of feminine products.
I love it. Love it. Yeah.
AFP. It's a new department. The Department of Feminine Products. The DFP.
Love it.
Done.
Love it.
Done. See how fast we move?
We can do a bit on this, John.
It's democracy at hyperspeed. It's no more Congress, no more bullshit. I'm the president.
I like it.
Article 1 is gone.
Yeah.
You know how I wish they'd pick the politicians in all seriousness? Randomly by computer. Don't have elections anymore. Have all the people that are in that district. Everybody's term limited. You serve one term. You get picked by computer. Theresa Farrell, your name came up. You're the congresswoman from your district. You move to Washington for 2 years. You make. We'll have to raise the pay. And then you're the congresswoman down there for 2 years, and then you come back. That's done.
Because I've also played a congresswoman in one of the.
Yes, you did. See, I know. I'm well versed, and I have played. So here's a trivia question for you: there are only 3 actors in history that have played more than one president. 4.
Wait. Say it again. The trivia question is: there's more than one person that's played more than 4 times.
4 actors that have played more than one president.
4 actors that have played more than one president. 4 actors.
So they played a president, but twice, but not the same president.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm going to tell you who they are because you're never going to get it because I couldn't even get it. I found it by accident because I couldn't sleep one night and I was on the internet. You ready?
Okay, go ahead. Well, we
James.
should watching porn. Go ahead.
No, it wasn't. No, nothing naughty. James Cromwell was in The Sum of All Fears as the president.
Okay.
He was also a former president on the West Wing.
Okay.
So that's number one. Bruce Greenwood played the president in National Treasure 2. And he was also JFK in the movie 13 Days.
Wow.
And then the third one is we had him on the show earlier today, Morgan Freeman. He was the president in Deep Impact.
Yeah. Our
rockets have failed. If you're near one of these cities, leave now. So he was that, and then he was the president in the movie Angel Has Fallen.
Okay.
Which was a ridiculous movie about them trying to assassinate the president Morgan Freeman. And the fourth actor is me. I've played Nixon, Reagan, Bush, Obama, Bush, Clinton, and Trump. So I'm one of only 4 people.
Wow.
That have played.
What I was going to say, John Santo. That was my first guess, but I figured let me hear what you had to say first.
Well, I like to save the worst for last, so that's why I did mine last.
No.
But we are almost at the end of episode 31. But we didn't finish booking you. We didn't finish.
Look how fast your show goes. Your show goes as fast as mine, baby.
It goes like this. We're faster than Zoom.
Yeah.
It goes quick. So we are going to push. You're going to lose 20 pounds. You have until Sunday, 9/6.
Yeah.
2020. We will have you back on the show. You are booked. Done. 9/7.
Book it, Dano.
20. That's like episode 4. It's 8 weeks away.
453.
35. Carry the 10. It's either episode 39 or 40. So if it's episode 39, that means you're in the same group of 10. You're in a 3-something episode, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's not bad. That's better than episode 2 to 31. That was big. Yeah. I was big. I think we tried to have you on a few times, but with contractual things, and then you had the Gulf Stream and the. So 9/7, you're booked. I'm putting that in the book.
Oh, great!
I don't know who's coming on next week, but I know you're coming on in 8 weeks, and we're going to see how you. So how much do you weigh now? So we can. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm a kid. I kid. You don't have to tell us how much it is, but. Hold on. Governor Cuomo, you're going to do the officiating.
Oh.
Hello, Theresa. This is Governor Cuomo. I want to wish you the best of luck with your 20 pound, and we're going to show the facts. We are going to show the flattening of Theresa. We're going to show the weight going down.
The flattening of my curves.
The flattening of your curves. We're going to show the mountain going down, the weight going down.
Yeah.
By 20 pounds or more in 8 weeks.
Did anyone ever tell you that Sebastian Maniscalco sounds just like you?
A little bit. I don't know if I sound like him or if he sounds like me.
Yeah.
But whatever the case, that's what it is. I'm not a statistician.
Well, I'd have to say you did a wonderful job throughout this whole ordeal, and I enjoyed watching you every day.
I just put up all of the numbers. We're going to do this for other things, Theresa. We're also the facts. What are the facts? These are the facts. Right. I am going to be in John Santo's Celebrity Viagra skit whenever he gets back on the stage, and we are going to talk about erectile dysfunction in New York State and how we are the lowest. That's right, the lowest.
Really?
I just spilled my water all over my desk.
I can't do that. Well, you'll be happy to know I wear my mask, I social distance, and I wash my hands. So
social distance, wear the mask, and stay away from the virus.
Right. Right.
When is your birthday? September 6th?
Yes.
So we're going to wish you a happy birthday in 8 weeks.
Yes.
I'm going to, John, I have to run. I have a lot of things to do for tomorrow's PowerPoint, and I have to talk for 18 hours straight. So good night, guys.
Good night, Governor.
Thank you, Governor, for coming on the show. And thank you to my special guest co-host, Theresa Farrell from Tea Time with Theresa, seen right here on the Strong Island Television Radio Network. And she's the number, you know, it's funny because you're the number one TV show on Mondays on Strong Island at 8 o'clock. And I'm the number one radio show on Mondays on Strong Island at 9 o'clock.
Nice. I like
So
that.
back to back
action. I like that.
Farrell, Santo, the back. It's like the Love Boat Fantasy Island back to back. Don't miss television.
That's great. That's great. Well, John, I appreciate you asking me to come on tonight, and I'm glad I was able to do it.
Me too. This was another amazing episode.
Thank you, honey.
And we're going to see you again on September 7th if we don't see you before.
All
We're
right.
going to hear all about Theresa's weight loss.
Dun 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 dun.
And we'll have the Rocky theme all queued up and ready to play. And if you did it, we're going to play the end music where he goes, I did it! We'll have that whole thing ready to go.
Okay. Sounds like a plan, John.
Well, thank you, Theresa Farrell, for coming on the show. Thank you to my producer, Bobby. Thank you for listening. This was John Santos, the radio. We'll see you next week, where our guest will be somebody.
Good night, all.